Coming to you live from deep within a muddy but windy and also sometimes sunny radioactive meme land. We're the survivors of the alt-right cacopolis, the few, the brave, the bitchy, once more wading into battle against the froggy hordes with Rantzerker number 86. Winco's Women Woes. If you're listening to this after the live show and you want to hear the full stream, go to www.honeybadgerradio for our unabridged podcast, or look up to the right of this video. There's a link to go directly to the unabridged version on Patreon, which will include the show notes, if there are show notes. Now, before we begin, the fundraiser to cover Brian's medical expenses and paid leave is still ongoing, so please go to www.feedthebadger.com and put some money towards that. All right. And also, this game, or this stream, will not be gamified. This game will not be streamified because fuck it, I don't want to do more work today than I have to. So after the first hour, that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Bye. Can we end now, Brian?
I would love to end now because
yeah.
I've watched a little bit of what we're going to be covering and it's super painful to watch.
Oh yeah, but it should actually probably won't take an hour to cover though.
Yeah, well, hence my fuck you, Allison, at the end of the ad that I did today, because it's like, thank you for picking the most excruciating thing to review.
And here's the thing. Here's what makes it even more excruciating. This isn't feminism, folks. This is normies.
Yeah, this is just like regular people.
This is the behavior of normies.
Yeah.
We today on Honey Badger Radio, we bring you observing the normies in their natural habitat.
Yeah, observing non-autists, you know, where they
going
live.
About their business.
Yeah, it's quite lovely.
Yeah.
But,
so for anybody who's been under a rock, apparently this has been a viral video. It shows a young woman,
14 years old.
I thought she was 15, but regardless, 14, 15, and she was caught stealing something.
Shoplifting.
Shoplifting. She was caught shoplifting. Some people are saying it's just a candy bar, but since those people are either her mother or the people who are defending this horrendous white knighting response to her in the parking lot, I suspect that she probably took more than a candy bar.
Even if it was just a candy bar. If it was just a candy bar, why didn't she just freaking go with the people from the store and take her little tiny misdemeanor 40 hours of community service hit, and then your record will be expunged, right? That's how they normally deal with juveniles who shoplift candy bars, right? So, like...
No, she was going to go for broke.
Oh, yeah.
She wanted to get the full points.
Yeah,
all the way up to second degree robbery.
Felony robbery, yeah. So, yeah. There you go. Over a candy bar.
Yeah, but anyway, so this video's been trending, and there's been a lot of outrage over it because of the handling by the loss prevention officers of this particular individual, who stole and then allegedly assaulted them afterwards. So
yeah, apparently, and for some context, they followed her out of the store. They asked her to come with them, and she then assaulted them. This is the story of and then after the assault took place, and they tried to detain her using physical restraint. That's when people started recording. So.
Okay, but that's all alleged. Although, in my personal opinion, the likelihood of a bunch of police officers throwing the book at a 90-pound... She blonde? Blonde?
No idea. I didn't...
You can't really tell, but anyway 90-pound white girl of the age of 14 to 15. The likelihood of them throwing the book... What the hell did she do to get second-degree robbery is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because as a woman... What would you have to do to get second-degree robbery? What did she attempt to saw off someone's leg? Like, what horrific thing did she do prior to the cameras rolling to do that? And you know, it's all alleged, so we don't know. We don't know what the police were looked at and said, holy shit, about. But seriously, they said holy shit, and then they threw the book at a person who usually gets away with murder.
Yeah, no, and they actually, I think they remanded her to a juvenile detention center immediately, as opposed to, you know, releasing her into her mother's custody on recognizance. So that says something. For maybe she has a prior record or something like that.
Yeah, all we can do is reverse engineer it because we don't have any specifics on this. But let's face it, blonde juvenile girl, not likely to get the book thrown at her.
No,
just
not
really, not typically. Okay, so I mean that's pretty much 3 pussy passes in a row. Okay,
there you go.
Let's go for it, Brian.
Let's do
play
it.
This. Let's play this thing.
You guys, you're not wrong. Okay, I got you recording, honey. It's okay. I understand that, but you know what? Safeway can't even touch her. Look what you're doing to her knee. Look what you did to her knee. Where's the cops?
Let's go.
Police are allowed to do that.
They're going too rough.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring technical difficulties to the table, but I'm getting nothing.
I'm also getting nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nothing.
that's weird. Let me try to. I'll try to shit.
Shit?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to shit.
Well,
no.
yeah, but maybe get a doggy bag first. You know?
Hold on. I'll grab.
Lay down some paper.
I don't know why it's
Lay
not
down
playing
some
for you guys.
paper.
The people in the stream are seeing it, but let's do this.
Well, okay, then it's another side tube. Sorry, guys. You know,
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm just grabbing the link.
Honey Badger Technical Difficulties Radio.
And I'm gonna put
As
it
you know.
in.
Shall I do some annoying elevator music?
No, we're good. And then I will play it.
Okay, there
Here
we
we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
You guys, you're not wrong. Okay, I got you recording, honey. It's okay. I understand that, but you know what? Safeway can't
Okay,
even
stop
touch
it for a
her.
sec. I'm pretty sure that's a woman. Karen, she
Yeah.
just said I'm with loss prevention, and that was not a man's voice.
Yeah, no, it does, you know, like, because it's hard to tell with the way, like, with the clothes and everything and all of that. But yeah, no, I'm with loss prevention. That did really sound like a woman's voice.
Yeah,
So.
and I hate to gender her, just in case she doesn't identify as a woman. But I'm going to go with the culturally, the typical
And
interpretation.
the hair is long and in a bun.
Yeah.
Under the brim of the hat there in the back, and so yeah, no, I can, and you know, I'm okay with it. It's essentially the fact that because you would essentially want as you know, as a company, right, to have female loss prevention officers
For exactly this scenario.
for exactly this scenario in which somebody would have to be tackled to the ground. You would want it to, you know, not seem untoward, and you would want to have a female do this. And it is the seemingly female loss prevention officer doing almost all of the objectionable or allegedly objectionable things in this video. And this girl doesn't look blonde. She looks actually a little bit ginger. Just saying.
Feisty.
That's a good point.
I think I just stereotyped gingers.
Yeah, feisty, hot-headed,
Shall we move
Yeah.
on?
and
No,
soulless.
I wanted to just bring up some more stuff.
Sure.
This is a female loss prevention officer. She's doing actually a really good job of restraining this girl, especially since the girl is really like
Making it
flopping
difficult.
around, making it difficult. And what's interesting is she's not actually at all, doesn't seem to be at all going for the throat or restraining her that way, which I would suggest to me that she's actually had some training with this, so she knows that she has to keep her airways unobstructed. And she's just doing her best, and she's being very restrained. From what I can see, knowing of what I know about grappling, this loss prevention officer, this woman who is a loss prevention officer, because I want to emphasize that, because I noticed in the comments to this video, a lot of people are erasing this woman's gender, and I assume that she is a woman. I'm because, again, the long hair, the voice, the fact that she's wearing more masculine clothing just relates to the job she's trying to do. And she's, as far as I can tell, she's doing it well. And
Yeah,
professionally.
just staying really calm.
Yes. And in fact, later, well, let's continue.
You're doing it to her knee. Look what you did to her knee. Where's the cops?
Let's go.
Police are allowed to do that.
Stop. They're going too rough on her.
Yeah, look at her fucking legs. Let her go. Yeah, go. I got it on video. Look at her fucking legs.
She's resisting.
I don't. Are you a cop? Do you have a badge?
Okay, stop it for a second. Again, we have to stop every 20 seconds just in case we get a copyright strike. And I don't want to get one on Karen's channel. I'm looking at her legs. They're slightly scraped. There might be a little bit of dirt on them.
Well, I mean, any injury that she's receiving is due to her resistance.
Yeah, basically.
Right, and that's really the whole thing, is that, you know, like these officials, these officers, are not hurting her. What's hurting her is her trying to get out from their restraint and slamming her knees on the pavement and all of these other things. And this is it's one of these things that they actually teach protesters, you know, professional protesters, how to do, is how to make it so that the cops can't detain you without hurting you. Right?
And I'd like to add something again to the kudos of the female loss prevention officer. The way she's handling it, she's actually making it so that this girl is injuring herself less.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
She's
and
actually controlling her fall.
from the article, the officers themselves sustained more significant injuries than the girl. So
I'm not surprised, because you're talking, I mean, let's just face it, if this was a 90-pound dog, we would all be like, oh shit, this is scary, this is a scary situation. Now, she doesn't have necessarily the teeth of the dog, but she still has a certain amount of power and strength, as even just being a small woman. And now you're dealing with someone who isn't in the position to be able to engage in any aggressive action towards her, and is also trying to make sure that she doesn't hurt herself too much. So, I mean, this female loss prevention officer is, to my mind, when I look through this, she is doing the best she can to make sure this girl doesn't hurt herself while keeping her detained. This is, like, I can't believe that people are getting outraged over this when there is cases of autistic or mentally ill individuals who were restrained and suffocated in the process. Because this is, as far as I can tell, this loss prevention officer is doing everything right. Her only problem, the only thing that that is the girl itself. She's making everything more difficult.
pretty much, yep.
Okay, continue.
Okay, let's move on with this 90-pound bitch. I don't mean dog. I mean her.
You don't have, yeah, absolutely.
I got you.
Okay. Let go.
Hey!
Do you see
Hurting
that?
her.
Do you see how that happened? Just did you see how she fell?
Can we go
Oh,
back a
no,
little bit?
she threw herself down.
She threw herself down, but did you see how the loss prevention officer
Yeah,
actually
kept her
prevented her from going down as hard as she could have?
Yeah, no, she caught her. This is the hilarious fucking thing. And you know, if I were in her position, I might have just let go and let her crack her head on the fucking pavement.
Well,
But
she
that's
probably would have
me.
just broke her butt on the pavement, not her head. But
No, she would have hit. If the loss prevention officer had completely let go, her head would have hit the pavement.
okay,
Can pretty much guarantee it.
let's continue.
Back off.
No.
Are you the police?
You're hurting her.
Are you
Look
the
at her.
police?
Calm
You
down.
are going to get arrested. You're going to
Yeah,
get arrested.
I got it on video.
You know this is way beyond what you're supposed
You
to do.
fucking hurt her, dude. Hey, let her go.
Okay, can we just stop for a second?
Whoa, is that
Oh,
Batman?
Yeah, no, that's
Is that
no, that's like a bystander interfering.
sounds like Batman to me. He's like, where are the other drugs going? You're hurting her. Swear to me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's a bystander intervening.
It's a white knight. Is what it is.
Yeah, making things worse, incidentally.
Yeah. Oh no, because the more help that this girl feels that she has, or the more support she feels that she has from the crowd that's gathered, the more she's going to resist, and the more likely she is to hurt herself.
Yeah, the more likely she is to put on a show.
Yeah.
and try to throw herself down. And the thing is that I feel for these two, I mean, they're just employees.
Yeah, no, they're just doing their job.
And I believe that the loss prevention is she's some sort of like, I guess I've never really heard of loss prevention before, but is it like some sort of security force?
Yeah,
they're security guards working for the store, but they go in plain clothes to observe people who might be suspicious and try and catch them shoplifting. It's essentially, I mean, like, because like it is a big deal. It is a huge fucking deal with stores, right? Because like my daughter, she works for Walmart. My son was asking, you know, is your store going to get self-checkouts? And she said, we don't have a good enough record on loss prevention. And he said, so you don't have good enough security? And she said, no. Sometimes it's about the neighborhood that you're in. You're just going to get more people shoplifting, and you're just going to get more people leaving the store with things that they didn't actually pay for, right? No matter how good your security is. So the store where she's at is never going to get self-checkouts because self-checkouts increase losses through people taking things out of the store that they didn't pay for. You know, whereas other Walmarts may have way less security, way fewer cameras, right, but have a better record in terms of loss prevention just because of the demographics that are going to that store being less likely to steal, right? So, I mean, like, it really depends on what the store is, what the neighborhood is, whether they're going to have a security guard at the door who's like labeled security, or whether they're going to have somebody in plain clothes who looks like another shopper and is there to detect shoplifters and detain them, right?
Can I just make this a little bit personal? Like, I know Rachel. I mean, I've met her. I don't know her. But I mean, this could easily be Rachel, like in this capacity.
My daughter?
Yeah, like if she ever got into a position of being security or loss prevention. I mean, could you imagine being, well, of course, being her mother, and then watching how well she dealt with the situation, and listening to all of these people on the internet berating her and making her out to be a monster.
I know. It's really horrible. I mean, like, because she works customer service, and customer service, you actually have people coming in and trying to return stuff that without a receipt that they didn't even buy at the store, and you know it because you don't carry it at the store, right? And then when you say, I'm sorry, I can't take this item you're trying to return to a store that you didn't buy it from because we don't carry it, they will start screaming profanities at you and all kinds of stuff, right? And when I look at how she handles those things, right, you know, like the harshest she's ever been with a customer has been to put up her hand and say, you know, as long as we're on the topic of things that annoy us, I really don't appreciate you screaming at me over something I have no control over, right? And so, I mean, like, the whole point of being in that position is that you have to always be 100% diplomatic, 100% above board, 100% be able to defend your actions and decisions and how you chose to handle something. And frankly, in terms of customer service, her actually doing that would be borderline, right? It would be considered almost too rude for her to do as an employee and not a manager, right? And so these employees are in a really tight position in terms of what they are authorized to do and the actions that they can self-authorize to take, right? So, yeah.
I'm just saying, it's like, it must be a really hard, because I mean, she's just doing her job. And
yeah, no, and she's being extremely reserved like, she's not even yelling at this girl.
She's yelling at nobody.
No.
She's just focused on doing her job and getting it done. One of us. Okay, move on.
Let's move on.
Can't do that. It's against the law.
What are you doing, man?
Call the cops. Hurry up.
Your daughter? Is that your daughter? Who is it?
De-escalating.
Who are you? You're hurting her, dude.
It doesn't matter. You guys by law cannot do that.
You're hurting her,
They
dude.
by law, pause it. You guys by law cannot. No, they can. They are authorized to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, to detain her if she's a suspect in a robbery, especially if she's security.
There's also such thing as a citizen's arrest too.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
Can you call the police?
You guys don't have the right in Washington to do that.
Behind your back. Put your hands. Are they allowed to behind your back?
No.
Are they allowed to bring her to the ground?
No, they cannot. Safeway can't even touch her. You guys are like, no, you're making.
What the hell? He said, "Look at that." What I saw was that girl lifting herself up and slamming herself back down. Look at that. Like,
Well,
are these people blind?
They know they've decided whose side they're on, and so everything the other side does is bad.
So because it's something she's doing to herself, it's their responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at this point,
she wouldn't be doing it if they would just let her go.
Oh yeah, if they let her go, she'd probably face plant herself in the concrete.
Yeah, well.
Because
then that'd be their fault too.
Yeah, and that would be their fault too. There's a no-win scenario here. And again, these are just employees. They're just trying to do their job. Okay.
All right, moving on.
Really? Okay.
Are you guys security here?
Go to Safeway on Burton Road and see what
Hey!
they do. Ask people
You're
that.
causing her fucking harm!
Come on, dude. This guy's driving me crazy. Hey!
Okay.
Stop it! Enough! Sorry.
The woman who's holding her has her underneath the armpits, and I don't even think she's just grabbing her underneath the armpits, maybe behind the neck. There's no harm that's going to be happening here, unless the girl actually.
The only harm is from the girl slamming herself down on the sidewalk, and that harm is actually being mitigated by this woman.
Yeah. Okay.
This dude was that voice in the background. He's puffing up like a motherfucker. All right, moving on.
Puffing.
He's puffing up. I mean, like that. You know, because I'm sure he doesn't walk around ordering lattes with that voice. You know, so. I want almond milk. God damn
Pumpkin
it!
spice.
Moving on.
Say pumpkin spice.
Yeah. Pumpkin spice. Make it a venti, dude. All right, moving on.
Oh, okay.
She's fucking crying again! Right now.
Oh, I'm posting this all over social media.
Let her run! Call the cops and then they'll find her!
Look at all these people. Oh my god.
All those people, lady. Most of them, like, there was like 4 people.
Yeah, most of them didn't give a shit, or they didn't want to be involved.
They're like, yeah, no.
This reminds me of, like, you know, my guy and I were sitting in the living room and we suddenly hear, like, this kid just screaming, just absolutely freaking screaming from outside, right? And of course we think, oh, maybe he's fallen off his bike or something, right? So we go outside and check, and there's this car parked right next to our house. And it's got this kid in the back seat, and the parents are just sitting in the front seat, just looking really, you know, kind of like, oh, crap, right? And this kid is just flipping his shit in the back seat, right? And so we go up to the car, and we're like, is everything okay? And they're just like, he just decided, he's like an 8-year-old kid with a few problems, right? And they're just like, he just decided to just flip his shit over not being able to, you know, go to get a Slurpee or something like that. And we don't, when he's doing this, when we're driving, it's a distraction, and we don't want to get in an accident. And so we just parked here until he screams himself out, right? And these parents are just sitting there, you know, the kid's just like freaking out, right? And he's starting to yell, you know, blah, 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 they're hurting me, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, and the parents are just like, you know, sitting there with their head in their hands kind of thing, like, not again. And And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to take this kid's word for it when the parents are just sitting there in a parked car in the front seat, not even saying anything to this kid. They're just waiting it out, just waiting out the tantrum, right? And it's like, this situation reminds me so much of that, except if my boyfriend and I had said, I can't believe you're treating your child this way. How dare you not get your child a Slurpee? How dare you not, allow your child to rule this interaction and dictate the extent of this interaction? I mean, that seems to be what this is just two very calm adults who are just trying to freaking do what they got to do, and a child essentially just flipping out for no reason.
And at this point, I would actually tell everybody who's watching this, if they let her go, she's not going to immediately calm down. She's most likely, about 90%, she's going to do significantly more damage to herself.
Oh yeah, she's going to do something fucked up.
Or she's going to escalate her hysteria too.
Like and then they're going to actually be in real trouble because as officers, they have a duty of care toward her.
Yeah. So in this situation, it would actually have been worse, more irresponsible to her if they had let her go, because she's in such a state that there's a high probability that she would do significant harm to herself.
She'd run away, trip over her own feet, and fucking brain herself on the sidewalk.
Or she would just faceplant. She would throw herself down onto the sidewalk, or she would hit herself on something, or even there's a percentage chance that since they allege that she started this with a aggressive action towards them, with an assault towards them, that she would continue to assault them.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Shall we move on with the harrowing adventures of Winco Parking Lot Batman?
Yes.
Are you?
Just let him stand up. Just stand up. Don't let Bud.
Oh my fucking god, guy! Move off! Can you see that the female, the woman who's in loss prevention is actually trying to calm the situation down, and this guy keeps coming in and winding it up again.
Yeah, no, he doesn't understand anything about kids or juveniles or whatever, and temper tantrums and freakouts and stuff like that. And the last thing that you do is let them feel like they have a good reason to be reacting the way that they're reacting.
But you can see the woman is talking to her and trying to calm her down. She's waiting for her to calm down, so I'd probably...
Like, you're safe. You're safe. I'm not here to hurt you. You just need to calm down, right? And everything's going to be okay. And then this guy coming in, are you okay? Are they hurting you? Blah, 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 right? And she's getting her all fucking worked up again.
She's going to wig out again.
Yeah.
Guy, the biggest danger to this young woman right now is herself. And you are making it worse.
From the beginning, I think. From the beginning of the whole thing.
Yeah, you can see...
Right from the time she took the chocolate bar or whatever, right, all the way to when she allegedly assaulted these people when they tried to detain her, all the way up to right now, she has been the person who has essentially injured herself.
And this is because there's a greater context here, because our society does this to girls. When they're young and cute, they indulge every whim, and they treat everything, every consequence as something that's done to them rather than something that they earned through their own actions. And then as they create, they essentially create a creature that is so self-destructive. And then when they stop being cute, it's like the puppy that you'd never say no to. And then when it becomes a full-grown dog, you just take it out back and shoot it. Like when these young women are no longer cute, they're no longer given the passes that they're given, but they're still as self-destructive as they were because they never learned the primary person who's responsible for where you are right now and responsible for your life is you. They've been told all their lives to blame someone else, and then they'll get to the point where nobody wants to cover for them anymore because they're not young and cute anymore, and then their lives rapidly spiral out of control. And it's actually not very good for her either.
No. Oh, it's like it's the worst thing that you can do to your child is allow them to think that your actions have no consequences.
Or there's someone else's responsibility. The consequences are someone else's responsibility. When this girl is no longer adorable, her life is going to be entirely dictated by her ability to choose the right actions to get the right consequences, learning of which she will be deprived. And so this man is setting this girl up for a horrible life. Everybody who facilitates this behavior is setting her up for a horrible life. Because, dude, as powerful as you think you are because you're a man, actually women have more power over their own lives than you will ever have. So they will be primarily responsible for what happens to them. I know that's something that people don't like to hear, but it's true. And if you don't teach them that, you don't teach them the skills they need to navigate the fact that their actions are going to be the primary determinants of their outcomes, then you're setting them up for misery. And anyway,
Moving on.
Shall we continue? Yeah.
Moving on.
It's okay. You'll be okay, right, sweetie? Stop! Just, hey, sorry, babe. It's okay. It's okay.
Wait, was that parking lot Batman again? Oh, I'm gonna go.
Yes,
back a
it
little
was.
bit.
It was fun.
Fuck!
Yeah, no, he's hulking out. You wouldn't like to see me when I'm angry. I just.
Oh my god. Okay, let's. I want to hear it again.
Hey, sorry, babe. It's okay. It's okay, sweetie.
I'm not trying to start. See, you were causing me harm.
Oh, Jesus, did you hear that, Brian? I'm not trying to start shit. You're causing her harm.
You were causing her harm.
I keep expecting to hear out of this guy's mouth like, "Do you even lift, bro?"
I see him though. I see him. I see parking lot Batman. He is actually he's wearing a gray. I think it's a gray and white shirt on the side. He's right there in the upper right corner.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the one. You're causing her harm. Fuck!
Yeah.
You were causing me harm.
I got you on video, honey. It's going all over.
No. Lady, look, loss prevention hero has gotten this girl to calm down and breathe. So she ceased to be a danger to herself and others. This doesn't...
and essentially, the moment, here's the thing too, right? The moment you put it on social media, right? Once you put this on social media, you put the store in a position where it has to publicly defend its actions, right? And the cops and everybody, right, has to publicly defend its actions in such a way as to... So, I mean, like, it's entirely possible that if this had never made it onto social media, right, that this girl would have been quietly charged with shoplifting. But because now it's a big fucking thing, now the store is put in a position where it has to actually demonstrate that it was in the right, that it did nothing wrong, and part of that is upping the charges.
Well, the store didn't do it. The police did. And
Well,
I want to point out.
Police would have done it in response to... because here's the thing, right? Once things become... The police would have probably been like, okay, if the store had said, yeah, no, just charge her with shoplifting, the police would have probably gone along with that because this is how these things happen, right? But because of all of the brouhaha, now this girl has to be made an example of, right? In order for the store to retain its reputation as having done nothing wrong.
Okay. That's probably a component of it. But what I wanted to add to this is that these bystanders did nothing for this girl. Making her out to be a puppet in their little fucking whatever kind of I don't know what parking lot Batman wants to be in this, but making her into just riling her up and turning her into a tool of their own narrative was of no benefit to her at all.
Parking Lot Batman wants to be a symbol. As a symbol, he is elemental, immortal, everlasting. As a man, he can be dismissed or destroyed. So just that's what he wants.
He wants to be a symbol.
A symbol. A symbol of white knightery.
But the funny thing is,
and Cool Whip.
But the funny thing is that he's made this girl's life worse by existing.
I know.
And encouraging this behavior so he could see himself as what? Swooping in into some awful, petty, horrible, sweaty parking lot confrontation and saving her by goading people? Like, what the fuck? Get over yourself, parking lot Batman.
Agreed. Okay.
Here we go.
Hey, now be nice to her. You can't be nice to her. Your parents are she's just very nice to her.
Okay, I just want to say, the old guy here in the blue shirt seems to actually be trying to calm her down. He actually seems to be telling her, just from everything I've heard coming out of his mouth, that you're going to be okay, right? Just calm down, just relax, stop what you're doing, right? You're going to be okay, right? He seems to actually be sort of trying to diffuse the situation, right? Whereas the woman who's filming it, who's like, it's going to be on social media, blah, 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 right? And Parking
You're
Lot
famous.
Batman. Yeah, and Parking Lot Batman. Oh, you're going to be on Gawker.
Yeah.
You're totally going to be on Gawker.
These people are complicit in making this girl's life worse.
Oh,
If it had just been the older guy and the loss prevention officers, you're right. It probably would have just been, okay, you're a little bit of a fucked up kid. You get a misdemeanor, some community service, don't do it again. But because of these people goading this into their fucked up narrative.
And publicizing it everywhere. Because that's really the thing, is once it becomes public, then it becomes answerable. There is no letting her off the hook now, right? There is no essentially saying, okay, well, just don't do it again and slap on the wrist. It really becomes a matter of, in order for the store.
Well, but here's the thing. I don't even think it's covering your ass.
And the store is going to be pushing the police
in
a certain direction.
I don't think that it's even cover your ass at this point. The fact is that these people goaded her into actions that increased the severity of her crime. And they goaded her into those actions because they wanted to see a particular thing out of this situation. This is just a kid having probably one of the worst moments of her lives. And then a bunch of fucking bystanders come in and they overlay whatever fucked up narrative makes them feel like a hero. And they make her life that much worse because of it.
Well, I would say no, because if the allegations that she assaulted the loss prevention officers initially, before the cameras even were turned on, if those allegations are true, then she upped her crime right then and there, right?
True.
Because at that point, when you commit an assault in order to steal goods, then it becomes robbery. Right? It ceases to be shoplifting and it becomes robbery. And so essentially, this was what it is, what it has been charged as, according to the allegations made by the store. It has been that since she first assaulted the officers when they confronted her leaving the store. Right?
Okay.
So,
On?
Apparently, yes.
Okay.
1/4 this box.
We're not shopping here. Fuck that.
I'm talking about big eye fucker. He takes that whole room.
What's your name, honey? What's your name?
Watch.
Catch me outside there. How about that?
In the store.
Yeah, that's real smart. Let's take her in there where everybody else can see it, right?
Well, where else are they gonna fucking take her? Jesus fuck.
I'm just pausing for the banana.
No, but they're like, oh yeah, that's smart. Take her in the store where everybody can see her. Well, where else are they supposed to fucking take her? Right?
No,
they have to wait for they have to wait for the police to arrive. They called police, right? They have to wait for police to arrive to arrest her officially. And what are they going to do? Keep her out there on the fucking sidewalk in front of the doors? No, they're going to take her in the fucking store.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
You were right, Brian. That is parking lot Batman.
It is.
The guy in the gray shirt.
The guy in the gray shirt. The Gray Knight.
Yeah.
The Gray Knight.
Actually, there's a YouTube commenter who used to comment on my videos all the time and rip the shit out of me, who used to call himself the Gray Knight, and he reminds me a lot of this guy. So there you go.
Okay, I just find that hilarious. He's still, and I like the guy. I believe in the apron. I'm probably a butcher. I would imagine if this is a food store.
Well, yeah, I don't know what a Winco is.
I think it is a food store. It's like a grocery store. So I think the guy in the apron is probably like the butcher, and he's out there, and he's like, he does the tone it down, dude.
Yeah.
No hand signal, tone it down.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
that. He was like, bring it down
Calm
a notch,
down.
man. Guy was like,
Yeah.
Bring it down.
oh, there's
Relax.
women in trouble here. You gotta do something.
Women in trouble. Fight for your life. Oh my God. Oh, I gotta do something.
Where are
Save
they?
him. Gotta save him. Are you in trouble, lady?
Well,
Oh,
the idea too that a couple of barked knees is like it represents significant harm just because it's happening to a woman is kind of insulting.
Yeah, like I remember I was rollerblading once and I shaved off the skin of my thigh, like about a square foot of thin skin, and I could still move around and function. It was quite
No,
excruciating, you know?
The other day I cut myself on the safety fucking feature of the cap on a gas can.
How?
Because it has teeth, right? So that when you turn it, the teeth stop it from turning. And so when I was putting the cap back on, I dragged my finger tip across the teeth and sliced it open. And then when I went in to get, I had to climb over the lawnmower box that was in the front hall and put my hand on the wall and sprayed blood all over the wall in my front hall.
How gory.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. So, yeah, no, it's like, and it's all healed up. It happened like a week ago and it's all
Yeah.
better now.
And they didn't do that to her. What they did was fail to prevent her doing that to herself.
That's right.
Yeah, so there you go. But that parking lot Batman, he's the real star of this show.
No, him and
is.
the woman filming. Who
Yeah.
keeps saying,
She's just
this is-
obnoxious.
No, who keeps saying, I'm recording this, it's going to be all over social media. You're not allowed to do that. You don't have any authority to, you're not legally allowed to blah, blah, blah. Right? Like, you think that didn't rile this young woman up?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and also I think this woman was, I think there was a part of her brain that was like, I'm going to be famous because I got a video that will go viral now. It's not even, it's not even about what actually happened. You know.
Oh.
Ugh. Okay,
Moving
let's
on.
continue.
Hands behind your back.
Oh, yeah. By law, they can. The cops in Vancouver said my mom sees it all the time at Safeway. You can't do that. No.
Who cares? Hey,
Yes, you are.
I got it all.
You can't do that now.
Yes, it does. You're hurting her.
Nothing is happening at the moment. Everybody's calm.
Yeah.
But your dude has apparently talked parking lot Batman down a bit. You know, and
Yeah, no, and now the woman is, like, taking up the freaking...
she's
reins.
trying to rile people up again. Just
Yeah.
let it chill. Like, just let the energy just dissipate. And then you can sort it out. Okay.
my face, motherfucker. Okay? Get out of here. Yeah,
You're
real-
loss
Fuck
prevention.
you.
You're loss prevention.
I'm a customer. Don't even talk
Oh
to me.
no,
Exactly.
I
Don't even fucking talk to me.
You need to leave.
You're fucking right. I just
Are you
I
wrong?
guess the older gentleman went nuts again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's starting a white knight now too. He's
Oh God, this is the most.
donning his helm. I must put this on. I haven't worn it in a long time, but it's time.
Well,
My fair lady.
it's really frustrating because he did actually try to calm the girl down for a bit there.
Yeah.
And to see him now, like he doesn't realize that what he's saying to this guy, he's not directly addressing the girl, but she's listening, right? And so she is getting the impression from all of these people around her that she's being wronged. And what the impression that she should be getting from the people around her is that she's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like whatever happens, you're not in any physical danger, you're okay.
She's being wronged by the people who are preventing her from doing more harm to herself than others.
Yeah.
Which means that if she gets up and does more harm to herself and others, it's not her doing it, it's the people who are preventing her from doing it.
So.
Humans! Okay.
Ugh.
Moving on.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
You guys are going to be all over the news, man. Feel sorry for you.
I'm not threatening you. You're escalating.
I like that hip action
My job.
with the, I believe she's the Hispanic woman there.
Wait, what? Oh, this.
No, it was just a second. It was just some hip action, you know,
Oh, okay.
arm on the hip. Oh my God.
Oh, right. No, you didn't.
You know, you didn't. And then cool butcher dude is just like, oh fucking hell, people.
I don't care. They're hurting her way beyond they should. I don't.
She's somebody's daughter, bud.
She's somebody's
Oh,
daughter,
she's
bro.
somebody's daughter, bud. Yeah, fuck that noise.
Yeah, so's
Okay.
the loss prevention woman who has to deal with all this shit.
Yeah. Like, oh, that is such a shit excuse. She's somebody's daughter.
And everybody there's
Fuck
somebody's son or daughter. So? What, does that mean she doesn't have any consequences?
You know, Ted Bundy was somebody's son, you know.
Oh yeah, what's that?
How dare you hurt his mother by sending him to the electric chair?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. It's just like so mean.
Get her name. I'm trying to get her name.
Oh, stop that. I don't care. Just because she squeals.
Oh, look at this. Look at this. She's
By law.
okay, she's calm. She's sitting here. They're not having to restrain her anymore. Everything is like freaking settled
chill.
down. Why are these people still fucking
Because they want to bring internet drama into the real world. The woman who's filming wants to become internet famous.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Parking lot Batman is just, I don't know what he just
I think
wants to...
I think he may have zip-lined out of there because I haven't seen him. He may have used his grapple to go to another parking lot to see if there's any women in danger, any shoplifters. Because I don't see him here. Are you in danger?
You know,
Are you hurting her?
You do a very good impression of him there, Brian.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do another Starbucks order there, Brian.
I want a cold brew coffee with soy, 'cause I'm a soy boy.
Half calf skinny latte!
Also, where are they? Okay.
Where are the women you're hurting? Are you hurting? Bresta, are you hurting?
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Moving on.
You cannot do that. You cannot do that.
Are you a lawyer?
Absolutely. Actually, I am. You cannot do that.
Wait, lady, right now you are the danger.
What is your name? Moselle what?
Oh, can we
Van
stop for a
Duzer?
second? Can you stop for a second? Okay. The fact is that this woman is now becoming a provocateur.
Provocateur.
Provocateur. Oh, however you say it. Fucking whatever. She's deliberately provoking this girl, and this girl is the biggest harm to her is herself. So, how is this? How does this woman logicking here? Let's go make this worse. For what?
The whole
How come
thing
nobody
is stupid
pointed out
too.
that?
The whole thing is stupid too, because even if you're gonna say, right, that these loss prevention staff have no right to do this, right? Okay, so you film it, okay, you don't interfere, you film it, and then you contact her afterwards, and you say, I have a legal case. You have a legal case against this, right? Here's how you can sue, right? Because I cannot imagine that this woman behind this camera, if indeed she is a lawyer, is going to be thinking that they're trying to get this girl into some tiny windowless room somewhere to waterboard her, right? This girl is in no immediate danger.
The Wilco Guantanamo Bay.
Yeah, the Winco Guantanamo. No, okay. If there is an actual fucking case here, right, of this girl's rights being violated through wrongful actions of the loss prevention staff, okay, the thing to do if you were a fucking lawyer is to record it all quietly, right, and then go to the girl afterwards and say, you have a lawsuit, you know, that could get you a nice big settlement.
Yeah. But here's the thing is that she was calm, and then this woman riled her up again.
Yeah.
She was calming down, and this woman riled her up again. This woman is responsible for whatever harm this girl does to herself. Well, of course, the girl is responsible as well, but she's still a minor. I mean, I assume the woman behind the camera is an adult.
The woman behind the camera is, yes, indeed, an adult. It's the woman, right?
Okay, and I just want to point out that Hot Chocolate Enema, who is one of our patrons, who has said, the proper response to the woman filming is, this video is not going to get Justin to stop screening your calls. I assume that's Justin Bieber.
Ew.
Okay, well, Hot Chocolate Enema also has said that if the woman is not a lawyer and has claimed to be so, and if the girl acted on the belief that this woman was a lawyer when it was not true, that could potentially be a felony on the part of the woman.
Oh yes, and more wisdom from Hot Chocolate Enema. Parking lot Batman wants to turn her into a victim. She'll be his victim.
Mm-hmm.
But he'll call her someone else's victim. That's how emotional predators do.
There you go.
My God, such wisdom from Hot Chocolate Enema.
Well, I mean,
It's always
if I
in the
were to
most unlikely of places.
If I were to have to receive an enema, I would want it to be hot chocolate.
Mm.
We
We must now move on.
Yes.
How old are you, honey? Okay, are you from here?
You know how much pain
Are
that
you
fucking
with
caused her?
anybody? Are you with anybody?
Look at her fucking knees.
What did you steal?
Oh, he's back! He's back! Look at her fucking knees!
The call of victimhood was too strong for parking lot.
I leave you alone for 5 minutes, and you haven't changed anything! You're hurting her, dude!
Candy? Okay.
Hey, leave her there. This fucking bullshit.
Hey, you know what? They're gonna go.
Jesus Christ, you know what? These bystanders have done something I didn't think would happen. They are actually making me feel sorry for this girl. Because now she sounds like she's fucking confused as hell.
Well, she's clearly not thinking straight.
No,
right?
she's not. And they're making it worse.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point in time, any kind of injustice can be sorted out later.
Yeah.
You need to stop her from hurting herself and hurting other people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's all that these loss prevention people are doing. If these were two random people trying to restrain a hysterical person who's throwing themselves on concrete, nobody would be like, oh my God, what are you doing? Well, it's obvious what they're doing. They're trying to prevent the girl from hurting herself. At this point, they are the ones who are preventing her from hurting herself. All of the bystanders are just encouraging her to go forward. Yeah, faceplant yourself on concrete. And then when you break your nose, we'll be like, look at what you did to her nose. Look at what you did to her nose.
Well, what gets me is like the whole thing seems to be based on the premise that these loss prevention people don't have any right to detain this girl. Right? And I'm sorry, but they do. They do have a right to detain her. Right? So, like, the whole, and then once she escalates the situation, right, into a series of assaults, you know, then now it's not just they're detaining her for shoplifting. Now they're detaining her for assaulting them, and they're detaining her for all of these other things, and for robbery, right? and all of it. And what do these people behind the camera and in the crowd want to see happen? They just like put their hands up, and this girl runs off. Okay, what does that even fucking solve?
Well, but also it's probably not gonna happen, because if she's hysterical, she's just going to continue to flop around and hurt herself. Like, that's, I mean, that's what I am seeing. And the other thing is that what they want to see happen is, I don't know, parking lot Batman wants a victim to save, and this chick wants some sort of hysterical drama to put on the internets to make herself internet's famous. Mm-hmm. These are the heroes that you didn't ask for, young miss, but they are the heroes that you perhaps deserve.
This is why we want normies to get out.
She's not going to listen. Really? She's fighting us all the time.
Just let her sit there. The cops are on their way. We've all followed them.
That's fine. But you are
Yeah. She says the cops are on their way, and he says that's
Did you see
fine.
that? Did you see that? She was holding on to that guy's hand. He was struggling to get her to let him go. No, I just noticed. It was interesting.
But the woman says the cops are on their way, and he says that's fine.
Yeah, of course it's fine.
Yeah, please, police, come and help me, fucking, and take this psycho bitch off my hands. Please,
right.
Yes.
Video.
Let's go!
You guys have to keep it. Hey, just sit right there. Don't fight them. Don't fight them. Cops are coming. They're right on that street. Hey, do not move in.
Okay, so just to confirm, the person on the right is a woman. I heard the voice, and I could tell that's definitely a woman.
No, we
fairly
ascertained
certain.
that.
Yeah.
We ascertained that like 5 minutes ago, Brian.
No, I know. I was watching, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I'm
Brian,
confirming
what
it
the
for people who are just now joining us. You know.
So you're confirming because you're the man, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't
Quit
become
mansplaining
real
to us,
until I
Brian.
did it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, now it's official because I now agree that it's a woman. Now it's a woman.
Yeah, because the patriarchy says so. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you. All right.
You're welcome. Glad to be of service. Okay.
They're right there.
Honey, they're
Do not
pulling
move.
in
Just
right
calm
now.
down. Do not resist anything with the police. Loss prevention do not have a badge. They got trained by regular, like Winco employees. What is that? What kind of badge? I know what loss prevention is, okay?
Okay. So why do we have these?
Yeah, so hold them down.
So the woman with the camera is an expert on the law, and so she's basically a lawyer. Is that why? Is that what we're getting from that?
Is that why this girl has been charged with felony robbery, and the loss prevention officers have not been charged with anything? Is that why? Because this woman is an expert. This woman who has told this girl, "I am a lawyer," right? And these people have no right to detain you. I want this woman to actually face some consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually think that she's possibly, aside from parking lot Batman, she's probably the biggest instigator of at least this part of it.
Well,
I think she was more than parking lot Batman was all like noise, but nobody really took him very seriously. This one with the camera, I think, was more of a problem.
Well, parking lot Batman is just yelling stuff, right?
Yeah.
This woman is saying, "I'm a lawyer. I know what your rights are. I know these people don't have any right to do any of this to you." Blah 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 blah. Right? She is essentially speaking as an officer of the court. Okay, and if she is doing so in such a way, right, that she is misrepresenting what the law states, if she is indeed a lawyer, right, that's a problem. If she is not a lawyer and has told this girl, "I'm a lawyer, I know that you have the right to leave, they don't have a right to detain you," right, all of these things, right, that's a problem, right? That's a much bigger problem than some fucking parking lot Batman yelling, "You're hurting her."
Read.
Down, but do not resist them like that. You don't beat them. So if a 5-year-old does that, would you do that to a 5-year-old?
So she's comparing this teenage girl to a 5-year-old now, because that's what women are to her.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't do that to a 5-year-old.
Because
But-
a 5-year-old wouldn't, you would be able to just pick up a 5-year-old and prevent them from slamming themselves on the fucking concrete, and you would be able to carry them kicking and screaming into a freaking safe place.
Yeah, this is not
Right?
a
Like
5-year-old.
any fucking person who has a 5-year-old who has ever thrown a tantrum in the store, you can literally pick that child up in a safe manner in such a way that they will not hurt themselves, and you will do it, right, to remove them from the situation.
I actually do feel sorry for this kid. The woman behind the camera is really pissing me off.
Well, I mean, like, she's a 14-year-old fucking girl or a 15-year-old girl, right? Okay, I don't necessarily feel sorry for her. I feel that she is not entirely 100%, responsible for everything that's happened here, right? Because if she didn't have all of these people egging her on, she would probably have, once they had her subdued, once they had her restrained, she would have probably felt like, okay, I'm fucking boned, I guess I'll go, right? Instead of having these people constantly revive her attempts to escape the situation, right? And telling her she has every right to, and that these people have no right to detain her, right? And somebody representing themselves as a lawyer, right, saying all of this to her.
Yeah, it's dishonest.
Well, if this woman is a lawyer,
Well, it's dishonest that she is a lawyer because she's
it's an abuse of of her standing. It's an abuse of her standing, of her status and her authority, right? And if she is a lawyer, one would hope that as a lawyer who is also a bystander, she would feel that she is subject to a duty of care as well as these officers here. Right? And that she should be expected to do everything in her power to ensure that nobody is harmed in this interaction. And she's done the exact opposite.
Yep. And I don't think this girl's going to learn much about, like, if you have everyone supporting you despite the fact that you obviously and clearly did something illegal and wrong, then you're going to, I don't think you're likely to learn that what you did was that wrong. And the only thing, you know what I mean? Like, she's not getting the message that shoplifting, you don't do that. These are the consequences. And there are people basically telling her that those consequences are things that she should not have to deal with. Like, let's just let all the women out of prison, Well,
and it's not even the shoplifting. It's the fact that when she was confronted over the shoplifting, she assaulted these loss prevention people, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so it's not just the shoplifting. I mean, like, shoplifting is pretty minor in terms of, the consequences and all of those things, right? Like, so she would have learned that shoplifting is wrong because she would have, like I said, been subjected to, a dozen hours or 24 hours of community service, picking up litter off the side of the highway or something like that. And then it would be done, or volunteering at a soup kitchen or something, right? But what she ended up doing after being confronted allegedly by these people is she assaulted them, right? And that's not okay, right? That's a much more severe offense. And then the resistance and the consistent fucking resistance, and the fact that the officers themselves, the loss prevention officers themselves, sustained more serious injuries than she did from this altercation. That's significant, right?
Well, yeah.
That's what she's answering for now. It's not stealing a chocolate bar that she's answering for.
I just find it interesting that this whole psychodrama is being played out with 3 women. Mm-hmm. We have the victim, we got the woman who's goading her into actually hurting herself more by playing the victim, and then we got the woman who's just trying to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
And do her job. I think that has more resonance somehow. Anyway, let's
Honestly, I'm really glad for Winco that they have that they had a female.
It's probably exactly for situations just like this.
Of course.
I was
of
thinking
course.
the same thing, that it's probably because there was a woman shoplifter. They probably went and got her and said, okay, there's a woman shoplifter. I don't want to grab her,
Yeah.
but we got to do something
Absolutely.
about it. Yep.
Yeah.
We wouldn't stop a 5-year-old.
Oh, why not? Why is
much bigger
why
right
is
now.
that any
You're
different?
smiling.
Why is that different? You can't stop a 5-year-old, but you're gonna beat the shit out of a 15-year-old?
What?
They didn't beat the shit out of her. They
No,
didn't
they
hit her
didn't.
at all. They just held her.
Yeah.
They didn't even restrain her in a way that could possibly compromise her ability to breathe, like a
No.
choke.
Yeah.
They-
No, they
They
were
didn't. Nothing.
they were extremely responsible, and they prevented her from hurting herself. So
Further, yeah, okay.
That's bullshit. That is completely abuse right there. Cops go to jail or lose their job for that. You guys should be fired instantly.
Hi. We need to get this young lady upstairs.
They literally beat her.
Basically, tackled her down to the ground. This guy's getting in my face.
Let the police take you.
Just pausing for the banana. It's almost over.
Yeah, I know. Let the police take you.
Okay. All right. So here's what I need you to
Oh.
do. If you are wanting to be a witness and talk to police, go ahead and
Oh, the cop's a woman too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You got the whole store, honey.
The whole store is not going to
You've got-
witness this.
you've
You have
got
like
the
4
whole
people.
store. You've got the whole store on your side, honey. Yeah. No, except you don't.
No, that
Yeah,
somehow
we-
the whole store didn't actually come down on her side. It came down on the side of well, no, we don't know if they came down on the side of the police.
Well, we
or
don't
the-
we don't know how, but we do know that the only charges in this case are against this girl.
Yeah. That's all we
right?
know.
And they're significant charges. They're felony charges.
You should see like the Facebook.
Well, here's
page
the
where I
thing
found
too,
this.
right? Here's the thing too. This is a store, right? How much do you want to bet there's freaking cameras, parking lot cameras, and you know,
Everywhere.
all over the place? That every single freaking square foot of this store and the parking lot is covered by cameras.
Yeah. That's probably the first thing they did was review what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, and maybe the police got it completely wrong. Maybe that female officer also had a misogynist vendetta against this little girl
Yeah.
and threw the book at her because phallus,
Yeah.
something patriarchy.
Something patriarchy, and maybe the fact that this girl was remanded into custody rather than released on into the custody of her mother on recognizance, right? Maybe that's just a conspiracy between maybe the CEO of Winco is fucking the police chief's daughter or something like that. I don't fucking know, but I don't necessarily think so. I mean, it's so rare for an attractive white woman, right? Particularly a young one, to have a book thrown at her like that.
And the thing is, I think the cops upgraded the charge from shoplifting. So she
They
was
did.
originally charged with shoplifting.
Yeah.
And then I assume after they reviewed the footage and took witness testimony and the testimony of the loss prevention officer, that they upgraded it to
Mhm.
second-degree robbery, which is essentially stealing and assaulting somebody in the process.
Well, and the police would have looked too. They would have looked at this footage as well. And they would have seen these loss prevention officers doing everything in their power to detain this person without harming them, without allowing the person to do further harm to herself, taking hits themselves in order to prevent her from injuring herself and all of these things, right? And would have essentially looked at it from the eyes of professionals who are who have to detain and take suspects into custody every fucking day, right? Knowing what that looks like from an officer's perspective, which is it can look rough, right? on the surface to a layperson, but when you're actually looking at it from the position of being trained as a police officer, right? You're seeing all of the things that these two individuals are doing right in order to prevent further harm, right? And so essentially, it doesn't necessarily look to people who don't know anything about it as if these two individuals are being very restrained, right? But to a police officer, it would look very different, right?
It would look very restrained.
Yeah. And so essentially they're looking at it in terms of the entire freaking picture, including any video footage from the store's cameras, right? And saying, okay, this girl's gonna be charged with freaking felony robbery, right?
Yeah, so here's an article. Vancouver, Washington. There's a Vancouver, Washington. Okay.
Yes, there's lots of Vancouvers. There's an Ontario, freaking Idaho, or something like that.
A teenage girl was booked in the juvenile detention hall in Vancouver, Washington this week, accused of trying to steal candy from a Winco store. A video posted to Facebook on Saturday shows loss prevention staff detain the girl as she attempts to flee the store. Many people argue that the staff was too rough on the girl. However, a Vancouver police report said no witnesses saw loss prevention use any assaultive behavior on the girl that would be considered excessive force. The girl's mother, Jackie Van Dunker, says she understands what Van Duker says she understands what her daughter did was wrong, but the way it was handled was excessive. It was all wrong. She did steal, and that's wrong. She needs to be held accountable for that candy bar, but the way they handled it was all wrong, Van Duker said. After seeing the video and how the loss prevention employees handled her daughter, Van Duker says the employees need to be retrained. The video, retrained to what?
Retrained to just let shoplifters walk away.
Yeah, retrained to be assaulted and then just let them walk away. Okay.
Snickers really satisfies, apparently.
The video shows the girl's struggle as she continues to resist being restrained by the employees. Van Duker says her daughter is young and was scared when the two employees came after her.
Oh, so what? You were scared. So the fuck what?
Yeah.
You know what you did. You know why you're in trouble. Of course you're fucking scared.
Police said the only injuries the girl sustained were a scraped knee and elbow. There should be consequences for them for treating a 14-year-old like that, Van Duker said. The girl was booked in the juvenile detention hall for second-degree robbery, a felony. I just know how hard it's going to be with a felony, and over a candy bar, it's stupid, her mom said. No, actually...
It's not over a fucking candy bar.
It's over the alleged assault that your daughter engaged in with...
In order to walk away with the candy bar. I mean, like, honestly, if I pulled a gun on somebody, right, and said, give me everything that you have in your pockets, and all they had was like 85 cents, okay? Does that mean that like that's not a big problem because it was only 85 cents? No. The whole point of it would be I pulled a fucking gun on somebody.
The Vancouver police say the charge was up to felony robbery because the girl resisted and employees sustained minor injuries. A representative with Winco sent the following statement to CATU News. Thank you so much for contacting us regarding the video that was published on social media. We appreciate the public's concern over the incident and would like to provide information about what took place, as well as our ongoing investigation. Winco Foods began to investigate immediately after the incident took place. While in our store, the individual concealed items and left the store without paying. The individual was then approached by Winco Foods' loss prevention employees who identified themselves as such. As our employees questioned the individual, she attempted to flee and was detained by Winco's loss prevention. At this point, the individual initiated contact by physically attacking multiple employees. All this occurred immediately before the footage started in the video posted on social media. Winco Foods immediately called the Vancouver Police Department, who responded quickly, and subsequently Vancouver Police arrested the individual for robbery. The video concludes with the officer arriving on site. We understand that the media, our customers, and the general public are interested and concerned about the situation. We are continuing to investigate the situation and cooperating fully with local law enforcement and are unable to provide any details at this time. As we continue our investigation, we want to thank everyone for allowing us a chance to explain the full details of what happened, including key pieces of information not shown in the video. Thank you. Well, that's a pretty key piece of information. Probably unlike what the article reports, that it says that the Vancouver police upped it for resisting. They probably, I would imagine, upped it for the initial assault.
Yeah.
So there's that. I just wanted to mention that my brother is severely autistic, and sometimes he has meltdowns in public. And at one very noteworthy occasion where he had a meltdown in public, he ended up being cuffed. So he was not just like wrestled and detained, but he was also cuffed. And he hadn't stolen anything. It was just because of his erratic and wild behavior. So when I look at this girl engaging in this kind of erratic and wild behavior and then complaining that she's being restrained, I'm not very sympathetic. Because I assume that she has a more mental awareness than an autistic boy.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, if she was a boy, even of the same size, she would have been treated far more roughly. And those cuffs that loss prevention officer showed people, they would have come out and they would have ended up on him at some point.
Well, what I find interesting too, right, is because, we know that it's almost certain that the reason that they have female loss prevention officers, right, is because of situations like this. And we know, at least intuitively, right, that this particular female officer took the lead in trying to detain this girl and restrain her because she's a woman, and she will, the optics are better, right? But I think, honestly, the whole situation would have been done much quicker if the man had been the one, right? With his greater upper body strength, right? And greater physical strength, right? If the man had actually been the one to detain this girl, she may have been less injured, right? She may have been detained more quickly, right? All of those things, right? So we're literally in a situation where optics are more important than reduction of harm.
I think the woman was doing a pretty good job.
Oh, she was doing a very good job. And from the look of her, she's a high testosterone woman.
And
right?
The other thing is that you don't know how well the man was trained, so we don't know exactly what.
But the man would have, all things being equal, right? The man would have been the better candidate to actually get the job done, right? And get it done with the least amount of in the quickest time with the least amount of injury, if they were both equally trained, right? And yet, for the sake of optics, and then even given the fact that they made this gesture, this sort of conciliatory gesture to the optics of situations like this, right? They're still, under this immense public condemnation for treating this girl so poorly, right? And it's just like, no, like if it were me, right? I would have just had a big muscly freaking Hells Angels looking dude, right, be the one to detain her, because I guarantee you, if it had been a man who'd grabbed her from behind and all of that, right, she might have stopped resisting quicker. She might have thought she had less of a chance. She would have had less of a chance, right? She might have been more fearful of resisting than she was, right? Because she was obviously more fearful of the potential consequences of being detained than she was of the potential consequences of resisting.
Yeah, there are many possibilities of this. I think that the woman did an admirable job.
She did. Absolutely.
And she did a good job at trying to attempt to talk the situation down. And what's really interesting to me is if you look at the comments on the Facebook article, they sort of erase her gender. She becomes a man. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to tell, but, well, it's not really that difficult to tell.
It's difficult from the clothes. right?
Yeah, it's difficult from the clothes, but from the voice and the way she's moving, you can tell she's a woman. But I think that's pretty much it. We got to say goodbye to Karen and her crows.
Wait. Let me give you something. Somebody just sent me
breaking news.
No, somebody just sent me information on the woman who claimed to be a lawyer.
Okay, breaking news. What's the breaking news? Don't hold us in suspense.
Well, I don't want to dox, but I'm going to dump it in the Discord.
Well, what's the point? Like, everybody who's listening to us is going to be like, but we can't access this information.
Okay, well, you can decide whether...
Oh, no, but this is the woman who posted the video.
Yes.
Okay, well, she's already pretty much known.
Okay, good.
Because we're going to be linking to the original video, which is on her Facebook page. Okay. Well, congratulations, Kirsten. You made it worse.
Kristen Nerton.
Yeah, you made it worse in the interests of I don't know what.
There you go. In the interests of, I don't know, proving a point or something.
Internet fame. Okay, so in the after show, we're going to be discussing patriarchy drives women to drink.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was other things that drove me to drink, like feminism.
No, it's patriarchy. Patriarchy drives women to drink. It puts the drink in their hand and pours it down their throat. Because God forbid we recognize that women make choices about their own lives. That would just cause everyone's brain to explode. All right. Or at least it would cause a parking lot Batman to swoop in. Are you hurting her? You're hurting her. You're hurting her. I thought that would rouse Brian, but he seems to be...
No, I'm around. You guys are doing just fine without my help.
Okay, well, let's...
Put it out, dude! You gotta put the dude in there, or bro, or buck. Not bucko, but bud, or something.
Bud,
yeah.
You know, my guy just came out of the office after he heard me yelling that, and he's like looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Because I got my earbuds in, so he can't actually hear the conversation. He just heard me yell.
Okay, Karen. Are you hurting her? Karen, yell, make me a pumpkin spice latte.
Karen?
Make me a pumpkin spice latte right now! Skinny! Half cup! Fuck you!
Alright. Okay, good.
There are other parking lots that need me. I have to go. Stay with her! Don't let him hurt her!